İzmir, I think. Verimizin.
Okay, I know that might look like the slowest flick in history, and it might make me look like a bad player, but I can explain. You see, it's not actually my fault. It's my mouse's fault. Okay, I know you've heard that excuse like a bajillion times, but here, let me show you. You see, I have been using this mouse for the entirety of my 2 years playing CS, and it has a serious problem. But the reason you may be asking of, well, why didn't you just get a new mouse earlier? Yes, I could have gotten this new mouse that I got for Christmas earlier, but I have a pretty big issue with changing up my control schemes often. You see, I'm the type of person who literally hasn't changed my sensitivity since I started playing CS. I may have changed it a couple months into playing CS, but I literally haven't changed my sensitivity, I haven't changed my crosshair, I haven't even changed my 0.78 ADS, actually 0.87 ADS sensitivity even since I've started playing Counter-Strike. So trying to upgrade to a brand new mouse always seemed like a scary journey for me, and that's not really something that I've been down for, until I actually got this brand new mouse for Christmas. You see, it pretty much matches my mouse in pretty much every aspect of play. The main differences being the size and the shape of the mouse, which has contributed to some minor problems when working on long-range flicks, since the micro adjustments that I typically make with my fingers are really a lot harder when you hold the mouse way differently. Another thing to notice about the fact that when you're holding the mouse differently, it also means you use different muscles a lot more. I'm noticing that when I'm flicking and doing a lot of aim maps for a long period of time, I tend to start to feel certain muscles in my arm tense up a lot more than normal, which is something that I'm eventually going to have to get used to. But the problem was never how comfortable it was in my hand, or the weight of the mouse, or the size and the shape of the mouse, or any of that. It was when I had to make a flick that was beyond 90 degrees, sometimes even under 90 degrees. Don't believe me? Well, here's a clip of me playing in a 1v2 clutch scenario on Train.
One Olaf.
Blue.
Maybe an Olaf.
There'd be a loser by defeat. What? I pulled the trigger.
Did you catch it? It was pretty obvious, but I was aiming all down Train looking at T connector, but then all of a sudden my crosshair seems to shoot way up into the frickin' sky for no apparent reason. And that's because I wasn't aiming at the sky. I was trying to aim at Ivy. So, what happened? As it turns out, my mouse has a serious problem with its sensor. If I move my mouse at too high of a speed, it actually stops all movement going in that direction. It can only read up and down. For instance, if I flick to the right, it can only read up and down inputs, or maybe it converts a right input into an up input, which is why when I try to flick over to Ivy, it just completely shoots up midair when I'm just trying to merely adjust my crosshair. Let me just show you a quick breakdown. Here's the new mouse compared to the old mouse. You can clearly see the mouse stutter during its flight path as it kind of just flies cleanly and then stutters for like at least 15 frames before continuing to move on. It's really like disgusting and gross and can make pretty much any longtime CS player with a good mouse shudder to think about having to happen to their mouse. A while ago, a friend of mine told me that I looked like I was playing on a controller. And given this revelation, that's fair. I'm essentially playing without being able to perform at max speed. Literally, I cannot move my mouse faster than a certain speed, else fall perish to literally having my mouse stop or shoot up to the sky and having to readjust all the way down during the midst of a gunfight. Just not a good situation all around. In fact, I believe I have the clip of him saying, "You look like you're playing on a controller."
One out, Squeaky. And Mini. He's not heaven.
Ah!
What the
Sorry, you played enough time.
What did I just fucking watch?
Yeah, it just worked.
I clutched! I won!
I know you clutched it and I know you won it, but what the fuck was that?
I don't know.
I think you were playing with the controller.
Yeah, it really felt like that, yeah.
I thought I was literally watching a bot play.
Okay, so my mouse is kind of cringe. That's why. It's gonna take me a little bit to finally adjust having a mouse that actually functions when I'm trying to do these long distance flicks, but eventually I think I can finally get up to that finally flicking at those top speeds that all the pros are doing, and maybe finally I can get out of Gold Nova 1 and back into Gold Nova 2 where I belong. Who am I kidding? Fucking matchmaking in NA fucking sucks anyways. Thanks for watching, and I'm coming for you.